Welcome back to the MWC Insider Guide brought to you by Light Reading. Terry Sweeney here, contributing editor for Light Reading. Joining us now is Sandro Tavares, Director of Telecom Systems Marketing for Dell. Sandro, welcome to the MWC Insider Guide.
Thank you, Terry. Happy to be here.
We appreciate you doing this. Let's start with a macro view of Mobile World Congress. Tell us what you believe will be the dominant themes at this year's show.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting show. Of course, I mean, it's a show that heavily gravitates around new technologies, and for sure there's going to be a lot about AI and applications in general. But I think that most importantly, I've been noticing in the industry more and more a gear towards the need for transformation. Right. I think that it's pretty clear that so far, I mean, the industry has been quite successful in selling basic connectivity, but we're kind of getting to the end of that trend, and that something major has to happen. So these companies continue to grow and the industry continues to evolve significantly. So I think a lot of like the more, strategic discussions are really going to be around the next steps that CSPs and vendors need to take to really be ready for what is going to be the transformed telecommunications ecosystem, the transformed networks, and the transformed services that are going to be offered to consumers and enterprises.
Sure. Well, thanks for bringing up the topic of the day, actually of the year, maybe of the decade. And of course, we're talking about artificial intelligence. We can't seem to gather, at a tech meeting without some conversation about it. Tell us about your own expectations around AI, large language models, generative AI. These are all going to come to fruition here in the next year or so. What are your thoughts there?
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for the industry to land the discussion on AI, right? So separate like what is reality, what is hype, and basically what are the opportunities for the telecom industry to benefit out of this amazing technological step that we have seen in the last 7-9 months. Right. It's interesting because we were not talking so much about AI in Barcelona last year, and all of a sudden the topic has grown significantly. So there's like several areas that are going to benefit telecommunications companies in general about AI. Of course, we talk about large language models, Gen AI, and for sure there is a role there in areas like customer care, marketing, and basically optimizing internal processes in CSPs, but also machine learning and other AI applications applied to the optimization of the networks are going to be of extreme importance as well. So we were talking about transformation. We were talking about how networks will evolve. We're going to have to support more solutions, more services. And with that, automation plays a very important role. And automation ties pretty well to AI and machine learning. So I think you're going to see a lot of that. And the third pillar is actually how CSPs can benefit to utilize AI to generate new business as well, hosting AI applications. We're going to be talking a little bit about that in our booth as well. So how you actually can leverage the proximity that telecommunications companies have from their customers to become a very strong point to anchor AI applications that are relying on real-time decision-making, real-time identification of patterns, and things like that.
Sure. Well, thanks for addressing that. Talk a bit about what's going on at the Dell booth. What can MWC visitors expect there? Conversely, what are some of the major themes for Dell customers that you can tell us about?
Yeah, as I talked about transformation, so our booth is going to be very centered on that. So we are bringing a very exciting lineup of demos and stories to our customers, talking about basically all the steps that are necessary to really build the networks of the future, right? So from the very basic foundation, like having servers that allow them to keep up with the speed of evolution of silicon, which is something that in our industry hasn't done really well. And I believe there is quite a lot of room for improvement in terms of, having always the latest chipsets being deployed, getting all of the power of the silicon evolution right onto the network. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about tools that will help CSPs automate the lifecycle management of the network and of the applications that go on the network, to make sure that they are agile to evolve fast. And several other demonstrations on our relationship with partners as well, the community that we announced last year and how it's been evolving, some examples of AI being applied in enterprise applications with participation of telecommunications companies on it as well. So it's a very diverse set of demos that we believe are going to really represent the road forward for CSPs as they evolve through their transformational journey.
Sandro, I believe that Michael Dell will also be part of the keynote lineup. Can you give us any preview of what he intends to say?
Yeah, absolutely. We're really happy to have Michael joining us there and giving a keynote on the first day of the show. And I mean, we're going to be covering really the need to transform the telecom industry, as I mentioned in the beginning of our chat, right? So we are at a moment where actions need to be taken. And Michael is going to be sharing his views about how transformation can happen in the telecom industry, and of course how the experience that he has in transforming other industries can contribute a little bit into the transformation of the telecom world as well.
All right. Well, Sandro, as you just mentioned, last year at MWC, Dell introduced infrastructure blocks and the open telecom ecosystem community. Update us, if you will, about how those efforts have progressed during the last 12 months.
Yeah, they progressed really well. So our infrastructure blocks are available, being tested and delivered to customers as we speak. So we have good progress there. And we're going to be talking about some additional advancements in this domain in Barcelona this year. And the ecosystem community has been a big success. So we have been organizing events around it. So we have, for example, an event in our headquarters in Round Rock, Texas, last year that got together more than 40 community players, companies from all sizes. Good opportunity for them to get together, identify areas of collaboration and moving things forward. We also evolved quite a lot in terms of our self-certification program. Right now, we have more than 26 workloads, 26 solutions already fully certified in our infrastructure from different players as well. So it is great to see how much traction we have been experiencing with our community, right? So lots of companies of all sizes reaching out to Dell to collaborate, utilize our Open Telecom Ecosystem Lab to facilitate testings and interoperability proofs. So it's been great. It's been really great, and looking forward to do even more of that.
Thanks for that. I'm also curious about one of the intentions of infrastructure blocks and the open telecom ecosystem community. At least one of the benefits of that is to simplify both the building and management of multi-cloud platforms. This is a huge challenge for most organizations. Can you talk a little bit more about how these two elements, infrastructure blocks and the ecosystem community, help with this simplification of multi-cloud for both carriers and service providers?
Absolutely. So the infrastructure blocks, they streamline the process of deploying the basic infrastructure on the network, right? So basically, they are, we can say, almost like an easy button for you to deploy in your network the hardware infrastructure plus the cloud stack, everything pre-integrated from the factory and already dimensioned and designed for the workloads you need to deploy. So basically, instead of having to shop for separate parts, you basically get like one pre-integrated solution that allows you to cut deployment time on field pretty significant and make sure that this basic foundation is already deployed fast when you need it. The ecosystem comes on top of that to allow for more workloads to be pre-certified to run in these environments as well. So once we have a diverse ecosystem of players that are certifying their solutions in our infrastructure, it also makes it much easier for CSPs to deploy these software solutions on top of the infrastructure that Dell is providing. So what we're trying to do is to use our labs, use our community to pre-test and pre-certify as many possible variations as possible, so this doesn't have to be done in the field, right? Reducing costs and reducing the time to value of the solutions that are implemented. So we're really excited about the progress we are seeing in these domains. There's going to be more announcements coming into Barcelona about that. And we see that when talking to customers, there is almost a unanimous feedback that this is the right way to go, right? So if we can avoid as much as possible having to do custom tests for everything that is going to be deployed on field, basically the whole industry benefits, right?
Great stuff. Well, we appreciate you joining us for the MWC Insider Guide and the Dell preview for what's up in Barcelona. Sandro, thanks for joining us for the MWC Insider Guide today.
Thank you very much for having us there. It was great to see you.
We've been talking with Sandro Tavares of Dell. This has been Terry Sweeney for Light Reading. Thank you for joining us for this MWC Insider Guide segment. We'll see you next time.